Rob and Denise?
You know, we chose to take the southern route across the U.S. and to avoid the snow.
We got snow in Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Our journey started in Temecula, California. Our RV was in need of some tires, some tech upgrade, and a whole lot of TLC. It was a great park, but most importantly, they had the best breakfast sandwiches at the local gas station.
Always the breakfast sandwich, that's what gets it. We were actually very anxious to get out of California and begin our new season in our motorhome and traveling. But we had agreed not to drive more than 4 hours a day. Two things: we didn't want to be zooming through the country, and we didn't want Robert tied to a steering wheel for 8 hours.
Yeah,
Too
that's
exhausting.
No 34 feet plus sprocket. We must be 55 feet for an inch. And there's your mother at the wheel.
I absolutely loved driving until the first big rig passed us at about 80 miles an hour. It almost blew me off the road. I lost control. I was so afraid I was going to wreck the motorhome. Rob and I made a deal. He drives a big rig, and I drive Sprocket.
Our first national park was on our radar, and we stopped at Joshua Tree. If you've never been there, it's absolutely magnificent. The desert looks dead, but we quickly found it was alive. So much life was in there, and we loved the flora and the fauna that she had to offer us.
Look at the ears on that thing.
We were told to be careful not to run over a desert tortoise. We searched high and low for a desert tortoise, never found one.
To take a picture of.
To take a picture of.
So Rob's research led us to a real gem of an RV club called the Harvest Host. And it's this group of people that have put together wineries and farms and museums, all these funky little places that'll allow you to come and stay overnight for no charge whatsoever, as long as you buy something from them. Like if it's a winery, you buy a bottle of wine or you do a wine tasting. Darn. So we find it, what's neat about it is it gives us an adventure that we may not normally get. Our first two experiences with Harvest Host were wildly opposite. As we pulled into the first, it was called Superstition Farms, and Stevie Wonder was playing Superstitious in the background, I kid you not. There didn't seem to be anybody around. We actually paid to stay 3 nights, and it seemed as if even the cows didn't care if we were there or not.
There was nobody there at all. It was just us.
We texted somebody if we needed something.
Yeah. They're doing it in this picture, but no, no, no response.
Our next stop was amazing. It was the Combes Winery, New Mexico. Sorry, I'm a little confused. It's been a lot of trips. Kind of hard to keep the states straight at this time. Our server was so warm and friendly. Oh my gosh, he was lovely. We loved the wines and even bought a couple. We even made some friends there. That was so nice. And we had the honor of praying for somebody with fibromyalgia.
Yeah,
so that was wonderful.
That was awesome.
It was.
Our first RV campground in Arizona was in Benson. Benson is a really tiny town just off the I-10, and it's the road to Tombstone. If ever you go to Tombstone, Benson is right there. Everyone was so welcoming, and we just loved it.
They actually wanted to stop and have conversation with you. So it wasn't just wave hello. They wanted to know who you were, where you were going, where you come from. It was really a surprise to us that people actually wanted to stop and have conversation. It was wonderful there. We loved it.
The first night we were there, the hosts of this RV camp gave us an invitation to come for a meal because they have a little cafe there.
This is where they do dinners every Monday through Friday, and they played the Super Bowl and dances, everything.
Las Cruces was an amazing little town. It's called Las Cruces because of crosses that were placed there after the Apache raid that had killed some settlers. But what was amazing was we had some real Holy Spirit moments and great prayer time for people here. There was a gentleman with diabetes that was in danger of losing his foot that we were able to pray for. And when we asked if we could pray, he began telling us these wonderful stories about how Christians had been coming alongside of him and his wife and helping them through their struggles. One day we were sitting out outside our motorhome like this on a picnic table and just watching the sunset with a glass of wine, and a woman came up and sat down with us. She was French from Quebec, and she began telling us how when she found out we were Christians, how her sister had said to her when she left Quebec, don't go to the United States without God. Right before she left, she was diagnosed with gallstones, and her doctors told her not to take the trip. So we had the opportunity to pray for her for healing, and she was really touched by the whole thing, as were we. It was so obvious that God was chasing down these people, and we got to play a role in their story, so it was really fun.
And then we had our glass of wine.
And then we had our glass of wine.
Las Cruces has a beautiful downtown, and it's an old historic place, which is called Mesilla. Well, we had our best and worst meals in this amazing town. The best experience was an old hotel that had been a stagecoach at one time, and it was an adobe place and just magnificent. You'll see the pictures.
So they had decorated each one of the rooms kind of over the top, but really fun decorations. There were little stores that were in some of the rooms, like a jewelry store or a knick-knack store. They had parrots in the lobby. There were two different lobbies, two different entrances and two different lobbies. And in the lobby they had some parrots. And also my very first piranha I saw in the lobby of this hotel, this restaurant. To top it off, the people were so friendly, and the food was some of the best we've had.
Well, it's no wonder this place had 5 stars. However, the worst experience was another one that had 4 stars on Yelp, and it was atrocious. I mean, look at this.
Even the waitress said she couldn't get the taste of the salsa out of her mouth. Bad sign, bad sign.
We're off on our next leg of our journey, and we get to Fort Stockton, Texas. It's a small town in the middle of the massive Texas oil fields. It's the kind of place that you see in movies about oil exploration and, you know,
Reddit air.
Everything, Reddit air, things spread out. Well, little Sprocket Alfiat was positively dwarfed in the parking lot by a sea of dusty old pickups.
We mean dusty.
I mean dusty. And our RV needed some TLC at that point, so we stayed a couple of days, longer than we planned. But God's hand was on us being there.
As always, as always. It was weekend, and I wanted to find a church that had a food bank. I was searching on the internet, and I found a church that had housed and fed 200 stranded motorists one winter when the roads were closed due to ice. And they had a food bank. So I said to Rob, we gotta go here.
Well, Sunday came and we went to the church. It was a charming church, 100 years old, with a small, mainly senior congregation being ministered to by a young pastor who was on fire for Jesus. It was so cool to see. It seemed like everyone in the church wanted to meet us, and sadly not something that we've experienced too much before. There were no guitars or special effects here, just the piano and a choir. Yet the sound of the Lord's presence filled the church. It was amazing.
It was amazing. That's our travel so far. See you later. Bye.
Hey, if you like our videos and want to see what God is doing on our travels, subscribe to our channel. We want to build a community of nomadic friends, and we'd love for you to be part of it. And who knows, we might get to pray together. See you soon.